Coach?
Great day out there, beautiful day, man. Spring in Knoxville, and man, appreciate all the VFLs coming back. I've had so many started trickling in really on Thursday, and a lot of those guys were out of practices in the lead up to the spring game. But a great weekend for those guys too. Some of the festivities, brotherhood, getting an opportunity to get together. So great to see a lot of guys back here. Fans today were awesome. I know we were limited to 10,000 because of the $300 million expansion or renovation to the stadium, but it was great energy from everybody, and great day just getting our players' families back here into town, having an opportunity to see them before the game and then obviously afterwards, and huge recruiting weekend for us too. So appreciate all the fans coming out, and enjoyed Ball Walk too, an opportunity to honor our basketball program, everything that those guys accomplished this past regular season, and great group of guys too. Just look at Bescovy and Josiah and what they've meant to this program, how selfless those guys were inside of the basketball program too. It was awesome to be a part of honoring them today too. So with that, I'll open it up.
Questions? Start on the end here.
Yeah, if you don't mind, can you just kind of break down the play of really all of your quarterbacks as a unit?
Yeah, all in all today, thought they handled the mechanics, the game-like situation extremely well, decisive, accurate for most of the day. A couple of balls that were high in the middle of the football field, but all in all, I thought they handled themselves extremely well.
Specifically, Jake, could you ask for a much better?
About Merck?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Could you ask for a much better performance from him?
I thought he handled himself really well. That's a young guy. You guys have heard me say it. Just as a coach, I kind of break it into thirds. The 15 practices that you get during spring ball, and just his growth fundamentally, understanding what we're doing, defensive structures, and being a good decision maker. He's just continued to grow throughout the course of spring ball. So today, in front of fans and have an opportunity to play in the stadium, thought he did a really nice job.
Gentry?
Yeah, Josh, you hit a few deep balls. It seemed like a bunch of different quarterbacks hit deep balls at one time or another. Do you feel like from what you've seen this spring that you're going to get the offense back a little more explosive this year when it comes to those big plays?
Yeah, all those things got to come together, and this guy's getting open. It's structure of defenses, it's quarterbacks being in the right spot, being accurate with the ball, it's your protection up front. It's going to take all 11 to function and operate that way. Certainly want that, need that, create some of those explosive plays throughout the course of spring ball. I thought we've gotten better here the second half of being more on the same page and being more accurate with football.
Adam?
You've got some good options there at wide receiver. How do you decide, like, where's the cutoff of the rotation when you get to the season? Like, what are you looking for of the 3, 4, 5, 6 guys that fit?
Guys are going to play at a championship level, earn the right to play. Coach's responsibility, put them in a position to go do the things that they do at a really high level. Don't ask them to do things they can't do. Ask them to do things that they can do. And so, with everything when we first got here as a staff and where our program was at, being smart and intentional with the things that we've had to deal with to grow our roster. This is the deepest wide receiver pool that we've had. Now, there's a lot of young guys within our system that still have a lot of growth that they gotta make before we get to the opener, but really before we get to training camp too. And that's freshmen transfers, young guys inside of our system. But I love the competitiveness of that group. They've made plays. Fundamentally, they're getting so much better. Releases, the ball not in their hands, how they're blocking, understanding how to stem and work, second, third level defenders. It's been really good to see how they've grown, and a lot left out there for them.
Where do you feel like the secondary is at in the season?
Yeah, we gave up a couple of big plays today that we were just out of position, and all in all, that group, length, athleticism, you've heard me say it throughout the course of spring ball, that I really do like the athletic traits that we've got inside of that room, most athletic that we've been. You know, at all five spots. They've made plays, and end of the day, we got to find, you know, a core group that, including guys that we can rotate in, that will go play at the level we need them to. But all in all, I really like that group.
Vince in the back.
Coach,
Vince, they kicked you to the back today, or what,
yeah,
man?
I know Jimmy
Jeez.
took my seat, so.
Good night.
Did happen.
Pulled the trump card on you, huh?
How much did you guys utilize the in-helmet communication? Looked like you guys were still doing the old school signaling and stuff. How was that, or how'd that work today, and how's that working?
Yeah, it's still a work in progress as we continue into to training camp. You know, I think everybody inside of our league was limited to 3 of those devices that would work and operate on a day-to-day basis, including scrimmages. And so, you know, we put 2 of them on the offense side early in spring ball, transitioned it to the defense. Both sides got to, you know, tinker and play with, you know, how it's going to function and operate. And our communication system will continue to evolve, you know, as we have a better idea with that.
Wes, then Dave.
Was a lot of those newcomers there at receiver as a group, sort of what have they added to that room, and you know, what have you liked from what you've seen from them this spring?
Athleticism, ability to go attack the football at the catch point in competitive situations. That can be over the middle, it can be, you know, a deep ball that, you know, some would call 50-50, a 50-50 ball. I think those guys have continued to refine their traits at the line of scrimmage in press man coverage. It's the transition for every high-level high school wide receiver as they come to college. Typically, you know, they're seeing a bunch of off coverage and making sure that, you know, the defense they're seeing isn't getting run by, and so learn how to play at the line of scrimmage. They work, they compete, they got the ability to make plays.
Josh, can you assess how the 2 mid-years from Bradley Central, Boo and Marcus? I mean, obviously Boo was busy and has been busy, but I hadn't heard much about Marcus. Can you just talk about how those 2 did?
Both of those guys, you know, love their traits in the building. They're high-level, competitive individuals that have grown within the structure of our program, doing the right things outside of the building as well. They're intentional in the way that, you know, they sit in the meeting room, soak up knowledge, and try to grow in their understanding of fundamentals, technique, and scheme. They're physical guys. You know, we do tackle sessions. Both those guys are willing to stick their face in it. They have speed. You know, you saw Boo catch some returns today. And, you know, Marcus is a guy, you know, since he got here, I think he's put on, you know, 20 plus pounds in a short amount of time. I think that speaks to just how focused and intentional they are and what they're doing every day. So 2 young guys from here in state that absolutely love.
Paige, then Patrick.
Back here, Coach. What stood out to you about Sean Bishop today, especially the way he stood up in spring practice and then what showed out today at spring?
Yeah, I think, you know, for him coming off of his injury, getting healthy, having, for the most part, in our build-up to spring ball, had a full off season. Thought he did a really good job. Got a ton of opportunity this spring. Felt like coming off of the injury, whether it was mentally or just transitioning back into the ball side of it, continued to grow really well throughout the course of the spring. You know, he's ran well, sees it, what's happening up in front of him extremely well, and you know, does a great job pressing the line of scrimmage, using blockers. I thought today he got behind his pads, probably better than he has. That's an area of growth for all of our running backs that we got to get better at as we get to kickoff.
Josh, Mike Matthews had the big touchdown play, but I think he also had a block on one of the first touchdowns as well. What does that say about his mindset as a freshman comes in? They all want to make big plays like he did, but he's willing to be physical on the edge.
Well, it's one of the ways, you know, Mike's experiences on the defensive side of the ball just in high school. He's grown in his understanding of how to be physical and still be in a good body position, but he's willing to be physical. He's continued to grow throughout the course of spring, playing without the ball in his hands, and you know, he's a guy that goes about his business every day and competes extremely hard. He's got a high competitive care factor makeup.
Coach, what did you think about the D-line today and how they progressed over spring?
Yeah, all in all, like that group who they are in the meeting room, how they interact, coach each other on on the practice field, but in the meeting room too. They've done a great job. Some experience that's helping the young guys grow. That room's changed so much over the course of my tenure here. Coach Banks and Coach G and Coach Eck have done a great job with the makeup of who the people are and their accountability inside of our program. They've been violent. I think they've done. I think they've grown with their ability to play with their hands. That's in pass rush, but it's also snagging off the blocks and being able to make plays in the run game too. So our first group, obviously today, those guys were limited in the number of plays some of those vets got, but all in all, it's a really good group.
Last two, Reese and Adam.
Coach, what's different about Nico at this point compared to this point last year?
Just there's so much growth, like from any quarterback as they go through the early stages of learning what it takes to play college football. How intentional, how much time he spends inside the building, which leads to the understanding of what we're doing offensively. Understanding the why behind it is really important for players as well. The structures of defenses, protections, being able to understand when you're hot, when you gotta get rid of the ball out of your hands, how to slide protections and get yourself in good matchups. Our quarterbacks control a lot more than people think in a run game, and just continued growth there. So got really good command. He does a great job being intentional on a leadership role, communication role in one-on-one situations. Gonna have to continue to grow as a leader inside of our program as he goes through his career. That's typical of every young quarterback.
Transfer portal opens in a few days. What factors will y'all look into about whether or not you need to add somebody, and how different is those evaluations compared to like the previous transfer portal window?
Yeah, end of the day, you're trying to make your roster as good as it can be, we'll go through that process, have exit meetings with our own players. I think the culture piece is extremely important, in particular at this time of the year, because there's not a lot of time with them before you get to training camp. So it's got to be mature guys that you're bringing into your program too.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it.